use as human beings, we use about 10% of our brains. And how does that fit in with us being in alignment or not being in alignment, being fully expressed as who we are, that sort of thing?
Well, who told you that? In other words, how are they measuring such a thing? They don't know what part of your brain's doing what part of what. In other words, they're just guessing at most of it. And rather than thinking about only utilizing 10% of your brain, you see, we would explain it to you that as they are attaching vibrational reading equipment to you, that's how they're coming to those conclusions. They're not factoring in the vortex part of you. If they were to put equipment on Esther when she's receiving Abraham, they would be amazed at the percentage of her brain that is being activated through this high energy frequency transmission. In other words, do you realize what's going on? And if they were to put the equipment on you as you're listening, as you found resonance with it, the same thing would be true of all of you.
Right.
And so what that measurement really is about is alignment or not. And so we're not really out of agreement with what many of them are saying, because most people are walking around not very much tuned into who they are. You know that when you think about the highs that you've had today. In other words, you've had more highs, more high good feeling today than you usually have in a normal day, because you've been focused and you've been resonating with the fullness of who you are. But on a normal day, the really high good feeling, yodeling down the canyon, yahooing feelings that you have are rather infrequent. And the observing and the criticism and the worrying and the frustration, that's a more dominant part of your day. And so it might be 10% in the vortex and 90% not. There may be a very much accurate correlation within that, but we would not assign it to the brain capacity or the brain function. We would assign it to the focus capacity and the focus function. And it is our promise to you that when you take it out of the conversation of thought and put it into the conversation of emotion, it's like sneaking in the back door in all of this. Even though thought comes first and emotion follows, it's always that way. In other words, you focus and the emotion follows. If your intention is to find an emotion that feels good, usually it will lead you to a thought that supports the emotion that you're reaching for.